Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to the Angry Chicken, the Hearthstone podcast. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and I am joined by Willie Dills Gregory and Miss Jocelyn Moffat. Guys, the gang's all here. Welcome back.
Yo!
Hooray!
Good to be back.
That it is.
Sorry I missed last week's show. Trip to Napa for my birthday weekend and lots of wine. I went with my mom. It was super romantic. And, had a good time.
Happy belated birthday, dude.
Thank you.
I just had a good weekend with my mom. Not on Valentine's. Valentine's was with me and Katie. Yesterday was with my mom because it was her birthday. I realized that probably sounded weird now. But yeah, no, it's, mom love. Everyone loves their mom. There's probably some people who don't, but we're not here to have that discussion.
When I was 14, you talk about going away with my mom for my birthday, I would have said, that's ridiculous. Why would I ever want to do that? Turns out, as you get older, you actually kind of want to hang out with your parents. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. It's something I've noticed recently as well. It was, but it has with my dad a lot growing up. Now we're like oddly close, even though we still don't agree on really anything except for like movies. But
so he really likes Crackle, is what you're saying?
He calls me up after every episode and he's just like, Garrett, I'm just, I'm so disappointed in the son that I raised. That yes, it's a huge range, but the value is it's there.
Mana, man.
It's there. He's just like, it's all about stats. He's like, you know what? It's still good odds. It's still good odds.
Exactly.
Chat room's making me laugh. Garrett is a mother lover. All kinds of stuff. But I'm sure some folks are watching or listening right now and a little confused because there was some stuff going around the internet recently about maybe some inner turmoil in the show and whatnot. I guess the best way I can put it is Dills, you and I had a bit of a bro lovers quarrel. As you do when you're when two dudes work on something for this long, eventually.
Essentially we had a little bit of an issue, but we didn't really talk it out, and then we did talk it out. And it actually, when you do talk, it seems to actually fix things. I don't know if anybody's aware of this whole thing of like actually communicating, but it totally
made
works.
Up to me.
It's
Sounds
crazy.
I know, what a novel concept. We were both just like we finally talked and we're just like, oh yeah, we both freaking love what we're doing. Why would we stop? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Moving
that
on.
seems to be like it seems to be the wrong move right now to break up. This is actually it's funny because I was talking to somebody at game night when we were kind of at odds, and he was like, "But why would you want to break up the Beatles, man?" And I was like, "Oh, that's okay." I was like,
way to put us on a pedestal.
You.
I appreciate that, but
like, thank you. That's a little bit it's a little intense, but all right, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, just the fact like people really like this show, and it would be a shame not to be doing this show with you guys. So glad to be here.
We're glad to have you back. Really quickly, just kind of on the topic of communication, I just wanted to address something really quickly. To anyone out there who thinks that I can't stand up for myself, it's not true, and it's really inappropriate to send messages to any part of the Angry Chicken crew that is hate mail or hate tweets or anything like that on my behalf. It hurts me more thinking that you're doing that to my co-hosts than it helps with whatever situation that you're perceiving. I love them both. They treat me very well. And if I ever feel like I have to stand up for myself, I will.
Oh yeah, you will.
Yeah, they know.
Oh yeah, you will.
I was under the impression that you were essentially Princess Peach in the very first Mario. You were just there to be saved.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of running into toadstool after toadstool telling me you're in another castle. We need to start the show. Damn it, hurry up.
So, well, I'm glad we got all that out of the way. But let's just talk about Hearthstone.
Absolutely. Right? How is everyone's ladder going? Because Jocelyn, the hashtag Joss the Legend is all over my Twitter feed. I even had someone ask today if Garrett to Legend was a thing, and I was just like, well, if you listened to my comments last week, you know that I'm afraid to say that. Because I like, my whole life is about managing expectations, so...
Yeah, it's been a rough week for me. I got up to rank 10 really late on, I think, Friday night, and that freaked me out all weekend. because I was just like, I was so excited to finally get to 10. I'm like, I'm so close to single digits. I really feel like I can do this. And then I was like, oh my God, I have like 4 stars in rank 10. I'm going to lose all my stars. And I just started having this whole big anxiety freak out. And I didn't play Saturday or Sunday. I was just like, there were AIE guild events. I got into WoW and I was just like, I freaked myself out and just did the whole PvP thing, got exalted in Ashran, and I was like, this feels awesome. This is something I can do and I can do well, is just wreck Alliance. So yes. But
yeah, this is a thing, the ladder anxiety. A lot of people, there's been Reddit threads about this and stuff, that you get to a certain rank, and if you lose a game, you like have like a mini panic attack.
You freeze up.
Yes.
I had the exact same thing this week, Jocelyn. Last weekend I rocketed to 9. I was like, yeah, who's a badass? This guy. And
Right.
then I played some games. Like, all right, I made some serious progress this weekend. I can take it a little easier during the week. So I did some dailies and casual, and then I got back on. I played a couple ladder games on like during my lunch break and stuff, and fell back down to 10 and just went, oh shit, and just stopped playing. And like I lost it, and then yeah, and then I got back on the horse this week, and you just got to do it. I'm back up to 7 now from 10, and
Yeah, well, and I did tonight, and I dropped all the way as low as 12, and I went all the way up to almost 9, and now I've stopped again exactly where I left off when I started, which is 4 stars at 10. But I mean, it was bad. It was like I was literally like my hands were shaking. I was like hyperventilating. There was time like I was losing
no.
games and crying. Like,
Oh no!
it was bad. There's a
No,
reason
this
I'm
game's
not
supposed to be
streaming
fun.
this, guys. There's a reason.
It's actually
was-
much harder to do it on stream. Like, it just is, because you have other things going on. So if you really like try harding, I think off stream is the way to go.
Yeah, and
No,
that's because I've had a couple
absolutely.
people who have been spectating me who are on my friends list who are just like, oh, why aren't you streaming anymore? Why don't you stream Hearthstone? And I'm like, because every single second that I'm in Hearthstone, I'm on ladder. And every single second I'm on ladder, I don't want to talk to anyone. And the thing I love about streaming so much, and that's why I've been streaming, you know, like WoW and Evolve and Smite and all that kind of stuff, is because like it's fast paced. People aren't telling you how to play. And I like to sit there and talk to the chat room and be like, oh, did you see this cool badass thing? I just like monster swiped a dude in the face for 3/4 of his health. That's fun. But having people second guess your every move, not so fun when you're trying really, really, really hard.
Well, yeah. So people are just being helpful most of the time, but what happens
Yes.
is it kind of brings doubt into you. Like, oh man, am I not playing well? Am I messing things up? And am I not thinking of things properly? And
Yeah.
you know, you don't really want those thoughts seeping in when you're trying to win games. So
yeah, you have to
exactly.
like, it almost has to be like, it has to be invited. Like I have a certain core friend, like group of friends where I'm like, hey, would you mind spectating me ladder and look at it? But if I'm just a lot of times what it is like if I'm just on my on my iPad chilling in bed, it drives me nuts a little bit when folks jump in and they start telling me stuff. Because I can't type fast on the damn iPad. I hate touch typing, or well, touch screen typing.
yeah, it's
And
pretty
touch
bad.
typing is something completely different. And if you grew up when I did, Mario taught you how to do it, and it was awesome. It just throws me off. But I totally get it. Like, imagine everyone here has a day job, and you do it 9 to 5 every day, same thing every time, and you're very confident doing it. What happens when your boss walks behind your cubicle and looks over your shoulder? You start sweating bullets, and
Yeah,
you start
it's a
making
totally
mistakes.
different story.
Yeah.
This season I have decided to not give a crap at all. I'm just letting Jocelyn go. Joss the legend. All right, let's do this. And I've been playing Fane Death Hunter a lot, and oh my god, is that a fun deck? It is not good, but it is super fun, man.
Yeah, because we were talking about Hunter last week, and we were saying, Mech Hunter, Big Beast Hunter, Bane Death Hunter, all these things that we thought might actually be things they're just not around at all. So when you're
No.
like, oh, I'm
There's
playing Bane
Face
Death, I'm
Hunter.
like, awesome, but no,
There's more
not a
Face
thing.
Hunter. Yeah, it pretty much is just Face Hunter right now. But Fane Death Hunter, Fane Death isn't a good card, but Fane Death Hunter is incredibly fun to play, and it does have. I mean, I win some games. I win some games here and there. You could do things like Feign Death with the Explosive Sheep, which is like a 4-mana board wipe, and when you get a Dr. Boom out and you Feign Death on that, that's just insane. So some cool plays that can be made. But I'm taking a season off I'm just go Jocelyn. All right.
That's good
Good
because you
luck.
can help me then. You can spectate and you
All
can
right.
help me because like, yeah, I'm running into a
We're,
wall
we're
a
gonna
little bit,
do it.
I
We're gonna
think.
get this, angry chicken hive mind going, and I'm hoping both of us can nail it before the end of the shortest month we decided to put ourselves through this ringer.
Hey, it had nothing to do with the length of the month. It's because I knew I was going to have no life in February. So I'm just like, you know what? Why not?
Fair enough. I have no retort.
Well, if you want a really good deck, and I don't know if you want to just stick with your mech mage, but the current druid is really really strong right now. So let me know if you're
See,
interested.
and this is the thing because I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, try this deck, try that deck." I was doing kind of rotating between Mech Mage and the Pally for a while, and then I did try Shaman. I tried a different mage. I feel like there was one other deck and everything. Like I've been on Reddit, I've been all over both Angry Chicken Reddit and Hearthstone Reddit, and I've been like looking for decks and trying to learn things and reading everything I can. And even going in and doing it in casual mode, I'm still just I fall back to Mech Mage because I know that deck. I know what cards are in it.
Yeah.
I know what combos I'm going for, and I've had more success just sticking with Mech Mage than I have with anything else. Like as soon as I start switching around, it's going to take me a whole week to get really, 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 really comfortable with it the way that I am with Mech Mage. So I think I'm just going to stick with it because in the end, like I like Mech Mage. It's fun. I love the GVG cards. And if nothing else, it gives me a little bit of joy every single time I put out that snow chugger. It's just like, chugga chugga. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like my friends are here.
Yeah, I mean, have we mentioned this had to have come up before, but I'm sure if it has, it bears repeating that, it feels like a lot of players of this game that are really, trying to grind up the ladder put a lot of weight in what is perceived to be the best deck or the quickest deck. And honestly, it's such a bizarre mindset for me because I think so much more weight should be put into, do you know the deck? Are you good with this deck? Do you know how to play it?
Yeah, not every player is going to be able to just bounce around from deck to deck and play at a high level with each one. So it is really important, I think, if you're going to actually make a concerted effort to go up the ladder, that you just pick a deck and then you just get really good with it, and just continue. Like even when you start to, if you lose a few games in a row, it's probably just so a string of bad luck. I mean, there's a lot of variance in this game, and it's easy to go, oh god, this deck isn't working anymore. But really, I mean, Mech Mage, we know it works. So
Yeah,
I think sticking with it and getting really tight with your gameplay is going to be your best chance.
yeah. And I've heard so many folks talking about, oh, it's on its way out because this new control warlock is so good against it. But I mean, Jocelyn, you've been really into Magic Amy's meta report on Tempo Storm, and I really like it too. As a matter of fact, that's where I found the Control Paladin that did so well for me this weekend. And
Yeah,
I mean,
see,
it's
you
still
said
still
that
number
you
two.
went-
It's
Sorry.
still number two on her meta report. So
Like you said that you went, I think 7-1 or something like that. You had some crazy.
I won
awesome
either
record.
7 or 8 wins in a row. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah.
The best
And
win streak
so
I've
I was
had
like,
in the
oh
single
man,
digits.
okay, I really need to go on some kind of win streak. Like I need to break through this wall. I need to get into single digits, and I have to do it today, which I think is also part of my problem. Is like I'm getting a little freaked out when I don't hit my goals. So, but I was like, okay, I'm going to try this control pally. I'm going to see how it goes, and I think I won 1 game out of the 5 that I played. And of course, I jumped right into ranked because, again, I'm an idiot. So I was just like, I'm going to test this brand new deck on ranked because reasons.
That
So-
we've all done it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. Like, I tried Oil Rogue today for the first time, and it went terribly. I
That's
don't.
not an
And
easy
yet I've
deck.
been
I
wrecked
do not
in the
know how to
face
play
by
that
that
deck.
like 18 times.
Yeah, I just it does not come easily to me. I haven't really played Rogue at all since pre-Miracle,
Yeah.
and
They used to remember Tempo Rogue. Remember that was a thing.
that's what I used to play, and I loved
Yeah.
it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Then they nerfed every single card that was in that deck, and it was like, oh, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, you know what this is? This is just like a half-empty tank. You start with like a half full tank.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, turn 8, I'm out of moves.
Yep. Yeah, you don't have any card draw. Like it was essentially built on like curving out really nicely and having all this cool removal. And now it's just like you're just out of cards by turn 5, and it sucks. But no, the Oil Rogue is really strong. However, it is a super tricky deck because there's a lot of turns where the sequencing has to be perfect. You're always kind of wishing you had 1 or 2 more mana, which is why prep is so good in that deck. And but you have awesome, powerful turns as well, where I mean, Blade Flurry is insane. Blade Flurry is ridiculous when you can oil up your dagger and then essentially do a flame strike that also hits face. And hit face too with it's too much.
Well, there's so much about the oil rogue that's insane. The oil card itself is insane.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're going to talk about it.
And we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah,
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, because we're actually talking. We're our last set of GBG class specific cards to talk about is today, and we're doing Rogue because we haven't done it yet. And I think it's perfect timing because up until now, I think there's a reason no one voted for Rogue. It wasn't particularly popular, but now it's considered one of the strongest decks in the game at the moment.
Yeah, I put it right at the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Magic Amy did too, right?
Yeah, she did. Yep. It was #1 on the meta report for Tempo Storm this week. Which, if folks are wondering what the hell we're talking about, if you haven't checked out Magic Amy's meta report, we'll have a link to it right at the top of the show notes this week. There's also a link to the directly to the Control Paladin deck that I've been playing. Been working really well for me, and also I've also been playing a lot of Mech Shaman because it's super fun. And oh man, I just feel bad when I win with it, but it's okay. Folks should go check out my article on that because I wrote about it on Hearthhead. So go check that out. But, man, we have a lot of stuff to talk about at the top of the show tonight. I'm just going to move right along. Jocelyn, you have an announcement for us.
I do. I have an announcement that we've kind of been hinting at for a really long time, but I've actually gotten together with some people and we started some planning. We are officially having the very first The Angriest Chicken Open Community Tournament event. And you have to cut me some slack because we're going to do it for 128 people. First ever Hearthstone tournament I've ever organized. So we got to hope it goes well.
Yeah, big thanks to our buddy Discorax, who's been helping us kind of figure out the logistics of this.
He is so on point. Oh, my God.
And bigger points to you, Jocelyn, for wanting to name it this so that we could call it Taco.
I'm so excited by that name.
Yeah.
So
you're not calling it Taco? No? Just go with
no, just Taco.
Open.
The Angriest Chicken Open.
Yeah. You will be competing for the right to be called The Angriest Chicken.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the event on the 3rd or 4th weekend in March. We still haven't 100% nailed it down. All signups are going to be open to our Patreon supporters at the $5 level on Tuesday, February 24th at 12 noon. That's Eastern time. All spots are going to be filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Then after 48 hours of that, we're going to open it up to any spots that haven't been filled to the rest of our patrons. And so if all of the spots are not filled by Monday, March 2nd, the remaining spots are going to be open to the general public until we have 128 participants. I'm so excited about this.
I'm stoked too. It's going to be really exciting. And
and
this is our our first kind of foray into something this size with with all of our community. So we'll see. We're definitely from the get-go we knew we were going to give patrons some preferred access. I would be honestly surprised if we had 128 patrons just fill this sucker up. But if that does happen, we'll figure something out for the next one where we only have X amount of patron slots so that there is something for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
But I would be so surprised if that happens.
Well, sometimes it depends on the timing and everything else. So you never know.
Absolutely, and anxiety. I'm not just. I don't want to just go join every darn tournament I see. So.
So we're going to be using tournament.com, which is actually TOORNAMENT.com. So if you guys want to go there and sign up for their service, you can do that anytime. You don't have to wait until the 24th. We're going to use basically the new Hearthstone World Championship Conquest format. We're still trying to iron out a couple of things because part of their format involves, sending in deck lists and knowing what your opponent's going to play and all that kind of stuff. And that's just a whole lot for me to manage at 128 people. So we're gonna try to figure out how exactly we're going to work that. And we're actually working with the people at tournament.com to maybe see if we can figure out some functionality. So then the event is going to take place over the whole weekend. So there's going to be games on Saturday and Sunday. And then the final, we're going to live cast on Monday. So Garrett and I are going to do that. More details, including prizes, which we are going to have prizes. Yay. Are going to be coming next week.
Totally freaking awesome. Yeah. We're going to keep giving you guys updates as we iron this out. But we have basic outline here, so we figured we'd let you know as soon as possible.
Yes, and it will be single elimination because, whoa, dudes, come on. I'm good, but
yeah, we do the tournaments at. There's actually going to be tournaments at game night every other Tuesday now, but we've tried doing every time we try to do a double elimination thing, it just ends up taking way too long.
Yeah.
So with 128, there's just no way.
I know. So yeah, we're still ironing out all the details, and I'm getting a lot of advice from a lot of people who have run tournaments in the past. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and as I mentioned earlier, I have no life, so this is perfect. That's it. I'm done. That's all.
It's like, it's not because you don't have no life; it's because you're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Self-deprecating humor is not welcome here.
All right, I have a question. Is this event open to Angry Chicken co-hosts?
Sure, why not?
Well, it can be open to you two. It can't be open to me because I'm going to have way too much to do.
All right.
But you guys can play, absolutely.
I was debating in I don't see why not. I just don't think we're allowed to win prizes. So I think in the unlikely event...
if one of you two ends up winning the tournament, then I'll just shift all the prizes, and whatever the first place person was supposed to get, I'll shift that to second place, and so on.
Yes, in the unlikely event, not that I don't believe in you, Dills. I just believe in one of the other 127 community members. Slightly, yeah. In the unlikely event that you're the winner, the second place is the angriest chicken, because you're already an angry chicken.
Yeah,
you can't get angrier. You just explode.
I mean, it's not like I have a whole bunch of tournament experience. I don't think a field of 128 people who listen to Hearthstone podcasts are going to be good at Hearthstone. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, I'm going to take this next announcement out because I'm not sure on times yet. So I'm going to pull a Johnson and say that I have an announcement of an announcement to make.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Something very exciting will probably be happening on next week's episode. I know you do, and so does Dills. Because he just saw it in the notes, but I took it out because I just realized I haven't ironed out enough of the details and I don't want to jump the gun.
And this is already one big announcement, right? Oh, sorry, we're whispering. This has already been a big announcement.
That's true. Don't overshadow my tournament, dude.
Yeah, and don't overload people's brains with 10 deck slots or 2 announcements.
All right, well, we're not going to... What? 10 deck slots? Dills. Folks are running to Reddit right now.
They can't. Their tiny brains can't handle.
All right. Well, keep your ear to Angry Chicken. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast for more updates about the Angriest Chicken Open. And let's talk about this week's Hearthstone news.
Good news, everyone!
Oh, yes, Knife Juggler. Just a reminder, you can submit stories and vote on submitted stories over at the TAC subreddit, which is at tacpodcast.reddit.com. The big news this week is that Blizzard is returning to PAX East this year, and they're bringing with them Dustin Browder, the game director of Heroes of the Storm, Jeff Kaplan, the game director of Overwatch, and most importantly for our interests, I'm very excited about Browder and Kaplan, but for our show, most importantly, Hearthstone's game director, Eric Dodds. They will all be leading a panel at PAX East called Blizzard Preview. Really catchy, I know. Hearthstone, Overwatch, and Heroes of the Storm. There's a short summary over on the PAX website, and it reads that bold new heroes, exciting new cards, and epic new battlegrounds. Join a trio of Blizzard Entertainment developers for a look at just some of what's in store for 2015, including upcoming content for Heroes, Hearthstone, and Overwatch. And it's worth noting here, guys, that if you remember PAX East last year, that's when Curse of Naxxramas was announced. And
oh my God.
It was actually later in the year. It was April 11th, whereas PAX is going to be happening in March this year. So we might be getting... I think we're going to maybe get another adventure announced. What do you guys think?
Oh, I think it's probably going to be an adventure.
Adventure sounds about right. I mean, I think if they go adventure expansion, and they just kind of continue doing that, Hearthstone will always have enough new content. When I first read the thing, though, it was like bold new heroes, and I was like, oh, awesome! And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's also Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch. So
yeah, Heroes of the Storm. I kind of try. Oh, I see what you're saying.
When you actually read the summary, because it says bold new heroes.
You get super excited thinking Death Knights are coming.
I was like, Death Knights and Monks. Yeah, but no.
Yeah, I'm assuming bold new heroes is about Overwatch. I'm also assuming exciting new cards is about Hearthstone. I don't know why I would make that assumption. And then I'm assuming that epic new battlegrounds is about Heroes of the Storm.
Probably, yeah.
You know, Blizzard, you need to, I don't know, you need to come up with even more clever names for things that already exist. Like, I know you refuse to call Heroes a MOBA, but, you know, when you say bold new heroes, that applies to all 3 games that you're going to be talking about at PAX East. So, you know.
Maybe they're all getting new heroes.
Well, Overwatch is a brand new game that's not even out yet, so.
Overwatch will definitely be getting new heroes.
Yeah.
And Heroes of the Storm also will just constantly always be getting new heroes.
Oh, yeah,
But-
we just got the Lost
and
Vikings.
then Hearthstone gets new heroes, and it comes.
But see,
full
I don't
circle.
think we get Death Knights until they do like a Lich King expansion, and then maybe we get Death Knights then. But yeah, I think something like Karazhan maybe, or what else?
Oh,
What else? Like a
Ulduar.
Ulduar? Yeah, okay, that could be.
Ulduar, Ice Crown, Karazhan are my top 3, like in order of what I'd
Yeah.
like to see.
I ran Karazhan in WoW this weekend. It's actually really awesome. I understand the hype now.
Oh, so you've never
Oh,
been
that was
inside
your
it?
first time.
That was my first
Yeah.
time
Dude,
through.
that
Yeah.
place is amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amaze
Yeah.
balls. It is absolutely, like, there is no other word to describe it.
Yeah.
So
it
did you
was super
clear the
fun.
whole thing? How many people was it? Just you
Just
and one
2.
other person, or okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So you probably just destroyed everything, but
I'm pretty sure just a hunter pack could clear it now.
yeah. Every single person in WoW can solo that at this point. But it's like just the whole look and feel of it, the kind of differences between the bosses and the mechanics that the bosses have are just insane. You do chess event and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, that chess game was so
Yeah.
cool.
This is Wizard's chess, Harry.
Yes, that was the first thing I thought of, and I was like, wow, I'm the biggest geek of life ever.
Freaking awesome. So since PAX is earlier, so if this is a adventure announcement, it would be announced earlier. Do we think we'd be seeing it sooner?
Probably.
'Cause it, you
Probably
know,
May. I
Last
think.
year, Curse of Naxxramas announced April 11th, released late July.
Yeah, I mean that's what 2 months or something like that. But I mean that's I think we're still like the meta is still shifting pretty fast, and GVG hasn't really settled. I don't think we're like due for anything really soon, but it would be cool if the adventure is like hot on the heels of all this stuff. But I would say like maybe an announcement of a month or so after this, we get whatever new content this is.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. I feel like
So-
a Karazhan adventure would be unfair because obviously Rogues would have to get more roasts, and obviously he would have to be legendary, so they'd be the only guys getting a class legendary, and that just would be unfair.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Somewhere our non-WoW playing listeners just want to shoot me.
You know who I hope gets a lot of love though is Warrior. Like Warrior is struggling right now, and I hope Warrior gets something good.
Yeah.
If you look at what Warrior is just so bad in Arena right now, it's just
Yeah.
awful.
I'm
You
glad,
look at the cards they got, and you're like, yeah, that's why these cards all suck.
I'm glad you quantified it with that because I'm like, Control Warrior still completely kicks ass, but I would like to see more than one option for
Yeah,
Warrior and Constructed, and I would absolutely like to see Warrior picked on purpose in Arena.
Yeah. Well, so okay, Sparky. I know Sparky's you only play Warrior. I feel for you, man. I'm not saying Warrior sucks. I'm just saying Warrior needs love right now. They just need some love, and I hope you get the love, Sparky, because that's all he plays. I think he's like the Zedalot of the attack community. Like he probably just has 9 deck slots all with Warrior in them.
I had up until this weekend when I cleaned it out, I had 4 deck slots to Paladin. They were
Oh
all
my God.
roughly the same mid range, just with slight little tweaks. It's like with Coghammer, without Coghammer, with Creeper, without Creeper. It was
Yeah, Harrison in. This one has Black Knight.
yeah. It just got to be too much, and now I just have 1 mid range, 1 control, and a Mech Shaman. And I never fill up my deck slots. I know I'm like the outlier in this, but I'm constantly deleting my decks.
Yeah, I don't have
I
a
always-
problem with it.
Yeah, I always try to keep 1 or 2 deck slots open, for random decks. But then, yeah, I find that I've been filling up my deck list this month for sure, and I've been really bad at actually deleting. I finally went back and deleted my Zulok, which was like one of the first ones I made because that was the homework. I can't remember. I think it was Dills. I think it was you that gave me the homework for the show. Is I had to go play Zulok.
Oh yeah, it was the
And that was literally
6.0.
like episode 2 or something like that. And I only just deleted that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that is the thing. All that being said, I feel like if I could have more decks and I could like rearrange them, I'd probably hold on to way more decks. It's like, here's
Yeah.
my silly priest deck, and here's my silly rogue deck, and
Yeah, there's
Well,
no room
yeah, I
for
still
fun
have-
now in my
I
deck
know.
slots.
I still have my Giants Hunter and my like those two slots, the Milkshake deck and the Giants Hunter deck are just now. I just have 7 deck slots now,
Permanent.
essentially, because I'm like I got to keep these, but
you can't get rid of Milkshake, man. That'll be a sad day.
yeah, no, it'll
Or
always
Giants
be,
Hunter. Come on.
Yeah, Giants Hunter is amazing. Yeah,
Because of how good it is, or how confused
no,
your
just because
opponent
yeah,
is.
no, it's not good. It never
Sentimental
will be.
World Series reasons.
Yeah. Although, have any of you guys seen the Giants Paladin? I bet you would enjoy this one, Garrett. Have you seen this yet?
No,
It has every single giant in the game in it.
every
Actually,
single
Day
one,
9 was playing this.
including the
Clockwork
Clockwork Giant.
Really?
Oh
Oh,
wow.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
all of them. Because actually, Paladin has a lot of ways to like work with their giants. Like there's a lot of tools in the deck, the class-specific tools that can actually help out. So because you want to draw cards and give cards, you obviously play oracles and stuff like that. But then you can play what's the card? Is it Holy Wrath? What's the card that draws a card and
Hammer
deals
of Wrath?
that damage? No. The one that draws the card and then deals the damage.
Oh.
5 mana. I never use it, so
It's Hammer of Wrath, isn't it?
no.
No,
Hammer Wrath is
Hammer
4
is
mana.
3 damage.
Do
in a
3
card.
damage. I'm talking about the one that does the damage of the card you draw. Chat room, help me out.
Oh, the one.
So when
no,
you draw the
The one
giant,
that no
it
one
does 20
ever plays
damage.
clearly.
the one that's not used in real decks. Gotcha. That's
Yeah.
why I'm drawing a blank.
I think it's Holy Wrath, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, it has that because you have 8 cards that cost 10 or more mana. Holy Wrath, yes. 8 cards that cost 10 or more mana, so you actually have a really good chance to just do like 20 damage to the face or whatever, or 12 or more damage to the face.
Yeah. Okay. That's silly. And obviously, like I'm assuming muster. So your sea giants out.
Yeah, muster for sea giants, and there's just a lot of tools and stuff in the
All right.
deck. So.
That makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's still not a good deck, but it's super fun. And Day 9 was playing it on his stream and looked like he was just having an absolute blast. So, although he could probably play anything and have an absolute blast.
I was about to say, like, if anyone ever feels like, watching, Hearthstone streams or like our show when we have our serious weeks or anything like ever that Hearthstone's just getting too serious, anyone's putting too much weight and stuff, just go watch Day 9 stream, man. Like, it's just like party town.
Yeah, he's having like there's no salt when you're watching Day 9 stream, and he
It's all sugar.
inspires me. I was like playing the other night, and I was doing so terribly in arena, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be salty about this. I'm just going to have fun
Yeah.
because he inspired me that this game should be fun.
Yeah.
So
That being
I'm
said,
approaching it that way. Yeah.
I agree with you, and that's a great way to handle it. That being said, I did stream Heroes last Thursday for the first time forever, and I just cussed the paint off the wall. So sometimes,
well, you shouldn't have fun playing that game. That game should be all about winning.
Yes, absolutely.
that game is about making 5 other people have a terrible time. Have a
I've
terrible
been playing
time.
a lot of that actually on stream too with viewers and stuff. And
Good,
like
man.
And I'm loving that game right now.
I need to get back
That game
in,
is
man.
Really
I
polished.
miss the days of just Dills just having some kind of weird Gazlo battle cry as he runs off into the jungle and he just disappears for half the game, and then all of a sudden we win.
Yep. It's like
Wait,
where's
Dills
Dill's been this whole
disappears
time?
and then you win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dill's been
all
the
of a
whole
sudden,
game? And all of a
every
sudden it's like-
single mercenary on the map just appears in lane, and Dills is
Yeah.
just like standing still for 10 seconds, and a giant beam of light appears, everything dies, and the core's dead.
Yep.
It's beautiful. It's a thing of true beauty. Also, coming up this weekend, the ESL Legendary Series is finally reached its grand finals. And I'm stoked as hell for this, guys. I've kept up with this fairly well. There's I've missed a few weeks here and there, but I'm always reading about it on Wikipedia. And honestly, the final bracket's great. It's a nice mix of names we know and fairly relatively kind of unknowns. We've got Dark Wanix, Magic Amy. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Zale.
Zalay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Savitz, Chalky, Silent Storm, Pin Ping Ho, and Weifu. They're all going to be competing for part of a $20,000 prize pool, and all 8 of them are being flown to ESL Studio in Burbank, California for the live event. So I'm I'm looking forward to this. I know what I'm doing this
so
weekend.
excited.
Screw real sports, man. I'm buying a 6-pack, parking my butt on the couch and watching this on the big screen.
Damn
Yeah,
straight.
no, this will be an amazing tournament. The casting has been incredible throughout the entire thing, and the 8 players they have are going to be amazing. The fact that it's going to be all like LAN and everyone's going to be in the same room together means that the likelihood of bad things happening to them is very low. So yeah, I think we're going to have a smooth event. It's going to be really fun to watch. Looking forward to it.
Just waiting for that one person's idiot friend to just be like, dude, he has this.
Oh yeah.
It just comes up and Reddit loses their mind and it's a bad,
hopefully we
bad
never
time.
see any of that kind of stuff again. But yeah, the way the professionalism that they've been running the whole thing with, I think we're going to have one of the smoothest run tournaments we've ever seen. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
too.
I'm really looking forward to watching Magic Amy play. I'm super, super stoked. And I mean, well, obviously, Savitz, I'm such a fangirl. So, yeah, who
How
I'm
hot
rooting
is he
for, but
this week, Jocelyn?
So hot.
Somebody audio capture that, please. Like, isolate it and send it to me so that I just have it on tap, much like this. I just want to play it whenever I want to play it.
New Jocelyn ringtone.
Yeah,
I have my Garrett ringtone.
so hot. And just every time, just little text comes up. And then Katie just looks at me and goes, why is there a girl saying so hot? And it's constantly pinging her phone. That'll be a fun thing to explain to my not jealous fiance.
All right, who's everyone's pick? Who's going to win?
I'm so torn because, Savitz won our only tournament we put on. And he's an amazing dude, so I'll always root for him. Dark Wannix is so damn innovative. I just love him to death. And over the course of the past 2 weeks, I've become a total Magic Amy fanboy just because of her meta report.
Yeah, her meta reports
she's also a
are
very
great.
good player.
Yeah.
She's a really good player, and I mean, she's a girl, which I know probably shouldn't matter, but it matters to me. I think it's really cool that there's...
You can
Am
totally...
I allowed to care about that?
Yes,
'Cause I
you're
kinda
allowed to care
a
about
little.
that. Imagine things like, let's just swap it real quick. Imagine this is like 95% girls winning all the time, and it's like just Savitz, and we're like, I'd be sitting here just be like, yeah, guys rule, girls drool, woo!
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, I'm totally rooting for her because that's freaking awesome. But yeah, it's the two of them for me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go dark horse. I'm gonna pick Chalky. I'm like Chalky.
No, I thought about that one. Yeah. Oh man,
And
it's such a good group of people. It's gonna be really entertaining.
Yeah, he's such a strong, just like a strong aggro player that I could see him just because most people are gonna bring a bunch of control and stuff, and he'll probably come with a bunch of aggro, and he might just crush everybody. Like it could happen.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see.
Hearthstone's it's interesting from an esports standpoint to root for folks. It's not like in StarCraft, I feel like in Hearthstone there's no players I absolutely just can't stand. Which in StarCraft, most of them I like too. But there was you had your Nanny Waz of the world. You're just like, no, I really want you to lose. You've got a terrible attitude. But like with this in StarCraft, you could kind of latch onto, well, I'm gonna root for the Zerg or the Terran. But in all these multi-deck formats, it's a little different with Hearthstone.
Yeah. Essentially, I just want to watch really good games. I'm not gonna care who comes out on top necessarily, but it's gonna be really, really cool. And yeah, this is what I'll be doing all weekend as well.
Dope. Looking forward to it. Well, it's time to talk this week's strategy.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
We are here, guys. We made it. We are at the end of our 9-week discussion about the class-specific cards added in Goblins vs. Gnomes.
I'm so excited. I'm ready to talk about decks again.
No, you're supposed to be so excited because this has been so much fun, and there's been clearly no dissenting opinions, and we've agreed on everything. Yeah, right?
Pretty much.
All right. So, we're here to talk about rogues because no one voted for them, so they were last, and they're actually totally badass now, so this is perfect timing. But we're going to start off talking about some of the outlying cards that you probably aren't seeing a lot in Constructed at the moment because we're going in alphabetical order. And the first card up is Cogmaster's Wrench, a 3-mana epic weapon that has 1 attack, 3 durability, and text that reads, has +2 attack while you have a mech.
Yep, it's a good card actually.
I like Cogmaster's Wrench.
Yeah, it's really good. If you make a mech rogue, then this card is insanely strong. It's also just fine because of the 3 durability part of it. Means that even if you don't get a mech out, if you can Tinker's Sharpsword oil this, you get 3 swings.
Yeah, you're a rogue.
+3.
You have Deadly Poison and Tinker's Oil. Like,
Yeah,
you're okay even if you don't have a mech. So that's why this is kind of, it rises just slightly above where, you know, if you didn't have those tools, it would kind of be like, well, if you don't have a mech, it kind of sucks. But
yeah. So I mean, just think about like, for 2 mana you dagger up, right, and you get a 1/2. So for 3 mana you get a 1/3, and sure, it's it's weak without a mech or without getting buffed, but Rogue has so many tools to make this actually work that it's really good. And I saw a few decks early on, and when people were kind of trying to figure out what Rogue would work before kind of Oil Rogue became the standard, where people were using this and mechs like Iron Sensei and stuff, and then making really, really bursty decks with Blade Flurry and stuff. So it's not really in the meta right now, but I think it's a good card. I think it'll come back at some point.
yeah, this is actually in the, when they had the GVG launch event where the cards were in Arena, just here they are, go have fun. The first deck I made was a Rogue deck, and Cogmaster's Wrench was in it. And one of the games that I think I was streaming, chat's like, dude, you have lethal. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had Cogmaster's Wrench in my hand, and I only need to do 3 damage. And I was like, oh, I have a mech out. Oh, cool, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. I'm
Instant
done
buff,
because
yeah.
I don't know how this darn card works. What about you, Jocelyn? You had a chance to construct any mechs with the Cogmaster's Wrench?
No, I haven't. But I mean, I've definitely gotten wrecked in the face a few times at the beginning of, I guess, well, it's probably closer to January. Not so much this season, but definitely in January. The whole Iron Sensei Cogmaster thing, like, oh man, hurts my face.
Yeah, there's these first 3 cards we're going to talk about all have really nice synergy with each other, but we're not really seeing them played and constructed. So actually, I guess let's talk about the next one, which is the Goblin Auto Barber, which is a 2-mana common mech minion. It has 3 attack, 2 health, so it's a 3/2 for 2. It has a battle cry that says, give your weapon +1 attack. I mean, this just grows synergy with the Cogmaster's Wrench. I've actually been lucky enough to get in an arena before, and it is so nice.
Yeah, if you play this after playing a Cogmaster's Wrench, you get essentially a 4/3 weapon for 3 mana. So, as well, at least as long as this guy stays alive. But even without that, like, this is just a really good arena card. It's obviously you would see it in a mech rogue. But you're not really seeing it in like the Oil Rogue, even though that deck is really about buffing weapons, just because you need so many removal cards and particular cards that this doesn't quite make the cut. But in Arena, if you could play your weapon on turn, sometimes you coin the weapon out and then you follow up with this and then you kill their 3/2, and you're just like instantly ahead. And you kind of just like having a 2 attack weapon at the beginning of the game like that and a 3/2. It's really tough to recover from that if you're the other guy. So this has made Rogue even better in Arena. They were already good, so this is just a fantastic card.
Yeah, it's just you're a wonderful example of a tempo play, which is what rogues are all about.
Yep.
So
And it's a 3/2 for 2. It's fine.
Yeah, it could have nothing.
whether you get the battle card or not.
Could have nothing written on it. We would pick it in Arena.
Yeah, it's just a fine card.
Just be like, sure, why not? I like me some Goblin Auto Barber. Although I would not let this thing cut my hair. It
is terrifying card
It's
art.
a really crazy looking card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a ball with knives coming out of it, right?
There's the gold version, and they start moving, and you're just like, whoa.
I'm pretty sure this was one of the monsters in the cages in Cabin in the Woods.
I think you're right.
Pretty sure it was. Next card we're going to talk about is Iron Sensei. It is a 3-mana rare mech minion.
It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle as well.
It does kind of look like one.
totally
Now that you
does.
mention it. If from the 3rd live-action movie where they end up in feudal Japan and wear like Shogun gear.
Yeah.
Iron Sensei, 3-mana rare mech minion, has 2 attack, 2 health, and it reads, at the end of your turn, give another friendly mech +2/+2. Dear God, guys, you play Goblin Auto Barber, you play this, like, it's just bad times for your opponent.
Yeah. If you get the Dream Opener, then it's just wrecked.
Obviously, you would want to coin so that you could coin a dagger on turn 1.
Yeah, there you
Goblin
go.
Auto Barber
Go second,
turn 2.
Coin dagger, Auto
Yeah.
Barber, Iron Sensei.
Iron Sensei turn 3.
The dream.
Nothing got removed or killed in that process except your opponent's minion, and you're just having a good time.
It's tough to keep around, though, right? I mean, has anybody tried to play with this card at all in Constructed?
No, not I screwed
Okay.
around a little bit, like right when GVG came out, and that was about it. Yeah, because I mean, it's a 2/2 on turn 3.
Yeah, like it's just that's really its biggest downfall is that it's really easy to kill, and it's tough to make a deck where then unless you have like a Noyotron out or something, it's tough to make a deck where you can actually protect this and make a mech deck, you know?
Even not protecting it, like I mean, in Constructed, trying to get your
everyone's
two,
got something.
trying to get your 2-drop to even live, so that you get the +2/+2 to land on something is hard. It's not like rogues have Shielded Minibot, which is almost guaranteed to live to turn 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever they
yeah.
drop is
That would
probably
be
going to
sick.
die.
That would be insane if actually that
Oh.
that was the rogue card.
Or if Iron Sensei was a Paladin card, either way it would
Yeah.
be sick.
Yeah. But I mean, so if you think about what you're playing, because you're not going to play this unless a mech's on board, right? So essentially getting a 4/4 for 3 at least. So even in that scenario, like it's fine. But to me, like this is the reason why we're not really seeing like mech rogue become like a real big thing is because the cards they did get, while they're good, are just a little bit too. The Goblin Blast Mage is a freaking 5/4, and that card is just so good. And they're getting these 2 mechs that both have 2 health and die to almost everything. So it's tough to make mech rogue work with these being the options that was given, even though they're good.
Yeah.
Well, I think, we talked about that before, about why Mech Mage is so good and why it became so popular so fast is because their GVG cards are just so good. Their little Tink Master dude and or Tinker dude, whatever he is.
That's not it.
And the Blast Mage, just so powerful.
You're thinking of Snow Trigger and Blast Mage.
Yeah, Tinker's is
Right, yeah, because he's
neutral.
neutral.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
But also, if you think about that card too, that's a 3-drop that then you kind of clog up your deck with 3-drops. If you're putting Sensei in, Spider Tank, Harvest Golem, and the Tinker's guy, that's just too many. So
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
tough to curve out correctly with.
Yeah,
with
we
the
didn't
mech.
even bring up Spider Tank, and it's like when you look at Iron Sensei and you look at Spider Tank, it's like, well, Spider Tank's the way safer pick.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna get-
it's a safer drop on 3. You're gonna more often get value out of Spider Tank on
Yeah.
turn 3 than you will out of Iron Sensei.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I mean, again, I feel like Mech Mage took off because it is essentially, you look at it, it is very similar to Zoo in like the idea of it. You want to hit your curve and punish your opponent for not hitting theirs. So it's all about doing damage quickly. And then Mage has just their spells are absurd. They can finish out the game. If they do X amount of damage to you by, turn 8.
Yeah,
it's over.
Archmage Antonitis is a
I was
big
with
reason
spare
why.
parts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's why I gravitated to the Mage real quick. And that's why people are finding out that Shaman works too. Because, hey, Shaman have Crackle and Lava Burst. And also Rock Biter on top of a Doomhammer. You can get some real bursty damage with them as well. But we're not here to talk about
that's
that.
the finishing thing. I mean, you can still finish with Tinker's Blade Flurry and stuff like that. So,
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about Ogre Ninja. Another Ogre. We've talked about quite a few of them so far. It's a 5-mana rare minion, 6 attack, 6 health, stealth. What's not the love? Oh, yeah, it's an Ogre. 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. I'm just going to parrot what I've been saying all along about Ogres. Great in Arena.
Sure. Yeah, I picked this in Arena.
Not
Absolutely.
unhappy about these at all in Arena, but I just don't see...
Yeah.
I don't see this ever really becoming a thing in Constructed.
I
mean,
really
it's-
want, because we got some really good hunter decks emailed to us, and I would really like that to be this week's challenge is, guys, can you please make me an ogre deck? I really want this to work. Now that we've
I
seen
feel
all
like
the
this card
ogres.
can be amazing. Like it's just
Yeah.
if you can put this out there and then the next turn you can combo with the Tinkers and make this into a 9/6. Sure it might miss, but it might do 9 damage to the face. And with 9 attack, it's probably going to kill whatever it does hit. So, I don't know. I think it can still be fine. I think you have to make a deck specifically around being crazy bursty, though, with this card, if that's what you're going to do, which obviously Rogue can do very well. But think about, play this on turn 5, and then on turn 6, you buff it, and you also buff your weapon. You could probably kill whatever's on the board, right? like if it's some like an Azure Drake or something like that, and then you just guaranteed this guy goes to the face for 9. So there's something in there. There's something in there. Just haven't seen it yet.
That's a good point. And also, guys, what is the truly greatest thing about this card?
It's
What?
50%
No,
it's a
chance
ninja?
to do-
The art, man. This is an
Oh, art.
ogre
Yeah, this is a cool
pretending to
looking,
be a tree. This is the
This
best
is a
thing
cool
ever.
looking- yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool
I
looking
love how he's
card.
holding sticks.
Yeah. He's holding 2 sticks, and it's just like, oh yeah, you
Like
are one.
nobody sees me, right?
You're
Yeah.
one
He's a
sneaky
giant ogre.
2-handed oaf. Next card is the One-Eyed Cheat. It's a 2-mana rare pirate minion. Somewhere Husky is cheering in the distance.
Yeah.
Has 4 attack, 1 health, and reads whenever you summon a pirate, gain stealth. This card, the really only note I have to say about it is I'm so happy when I get this from my piloted shredder.
Yeah, it's not bad when you get out of the pilot shredder because 4 attacks, pretty sweet. But the problem is even if you do stealth it just dies to anything. Like any AoE, it will kill it. So it's whatever, it's fine. 6-0 did make a pirate rogue deck that he got to legend with, and I think there was 1 in there. I don't think he ran 2, but maybe
Really?
I don't remember. Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
but he did it, and they made it work. So
Yeah.
I think that's because it's him. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone else could make it work.
probably.
He has amazing patience. Master Owens in the chat room makes a good point. Is this a ninja pirate? Are we seeing our first ninja pirate in Hearthstone? Because he can stealth, but he's a pirate.
That is an excellent point.
When I cheat.
I want this. I want to try a pirate deck again with Rogue because it just seems too fun, doesn't it? Like Rogue does seem like the pirates.
Oh, it absolutely. I mean,
Oh, yes,
when
yeah.
you-
Yeah.
again, for another WoW reference, it's all about. Oh my God, what is? I'm drawing a blank on the dungeon. What's the dungeon with the Goonies ship? Dead Mines.
Dead Mines.
Dead Mines, it's
That's
full
with
of-
Van Cleef is actually in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Edwin Van Cleef comes from Dead Mines, which is all rogue stuff, but it's also got this pirate vibe to it, and it's great. Pirates are basically the rogues of the sea.
Sure. Now, he's not. Van Cleef is not labeled as a pirate, right? He should be.
I
He
don't
really
think he
should be.
is.
Yeah.
I don't think.
mean,
yeah, it's a really good
I'm
point.
gonna
I
look
mean,
him up.
I
No,
definitely.
he's not. But yeah, he should be.
I think
Why
he's
isn't
more. He is definitely. I think he errs on the side of ninja more than pirate, but
he? Yeah, but he's literally on a pirate ship, or at least he used to.
that is very true. That is
So
very true.
anyone on a boat is automatically a
We are
pirate.
answering
I
the-
like this logic.
We're answering the hard-hitting questions on today's episode of TAC.
All right, Ben Brode, come on, man, make him a pirate, dude.
We expect tweets from you tomorrow, Ben, about either agreeing or refuting our evidence laid before you about Van Cleef being a pirate. So all of a sudden pirate decks become viable. Edwin Van Cleef changed to pirate. Be great. Let's talk about Sabotage, a 4-mana epic spell, and reads destroy a random enemy minion. Period. Combo, and your opponent's weapon.
Yep.
So like Deadly Shot with an upside.
Yeah. Well,
yep.
So it's assassinate for 1 less that can't hit the thing you want it to necessarily, but most of the time you're able to kind of isolate what you want to kill, and if Paladin, Control Warrior, other rogues are like the heavy in the meta, I think this card is an absolute fine pick to put in your constructed deck. I actually was running one for a while in the Oil Rogue deck, and it worked pretty well. Because if you do actually get that combo off, and you do get a weapon and a minion, and especially if it's a big one, it's kind of game over. So this is a really, really swingy card. So it's fine. It's just a meta pick. If you're not facing a bunch of weapon decks, it's not really going to work out too well.
Yeah, and if Blingtron in Mages stays around, it's just one more thing this is good against.
I got hit by that today, and I was like,
Yeah?
bravo.
I haven't seen one since last week. I told that story last week about how the guy just kind of left because I got a Gorehowl and he got a Light's Justice, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen one since.
So Reynad is the one who I think kind of popularized that, but I'd seen it in a bunch of mech mages before that on ladder. It's good if you run, but you have to run water elemental to really make that work.
Yeah, you need
because-
as many ways to kind of freeze your opponent
Yeah.
as possible in case that it is a situation like I had where your opponent gets something amazing and you get the worst weapon in the game.
Yeah, exactly. But now that I think about it, I mean, Blingtron in a rogue deck with Sabotage could be pretty good. I mean, think about doing that on turn 9. You play Blingtron, then you play Sabotage, and you kill whatever weapon you gave him, and you get whatever.
And you
it
get
might
something
be.
that's probably devastating because you're a rogue and you can buff
Because you're
it.
a rogue, you can buff it.
Yeah, even if you get Light's Justice, it's like, cool, 4 durability, deadly poison.
4 of them, I know.
Yeah.
Actually, I was playing against the Mech Mage once who did play that against me and gave me Light's Justice, and then the next turn I oiled up my Light's Justice and I went to town on his face. So
I went to town on his
that's
face.
the technical term for what I did. Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, that's
That sounded
wonderful.
really dirty.
That's how we do it here on.
I oiled it up and went to town on his face. That's what I said.
Or you could just call something like justice.
taking it further than it needed to go, the TAC way. Jocelyn, any thoughts on Sabotage?
I think it's great, but I don't know. The whole random thing and the combo, you have to use it pretty late, and there's not a whole lot of, well, I haven't been seeing a whole lot of weapons right now. I mean, there's oil rogues that always wreck me anyway, and they don't need this card. And then I'm coming up against a lot of mages, and this week a lot of priests. They're making a comeback, and
Me
I don't
too.
like it.
I've been having the exact same thing, and I don't know how to play against them. I'm having a real trouble with priests right now because I haven't seen any of them on my ladder climb. So now I'm kind of hitting them, and I'm just like, oh crap, I don't really know how to react to this.
Yeah, so it's not kind of as weapon heavy as I would like to see it to run this card. But I mean, that can always change. I think the card itself is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a 4 mana deadly shot at its worst, like Garrett was saying. So
Yeah.
if you kill something big for 4 mana, then you totally get your value out of it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever run 2 of these, probably, but 1 I think is fine. It's a fine call.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a fun card, definitely. I like it. And as always with these type of things, you can kind of control the randomness by making your trades first, then hitting Sabotage. Let's talk about the card we came here to discuss. Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil, 4 mana common spell, because rarity means literally nothing in this game. Give your weapon +3 attack. Combo, give a random friendly minion +3 attack.
Yeah. So 9 damage for 4 mana.
Yeah, I feel like if we really, guys, if we really kind of went all in on a video show and we had kind of sight gags, this is where I would like roll out the old timey medieval scroll. It would be lists of reasons why this card is good. And just roll out down the lane, and folks would look at it and start muttering amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah.
This card is insanely good, and it is the reason why Rogue is now back. So. I was like a little bit worried about, if this card would actually be viable when I first saw it. I really had to kind of like play with it to get really a sense of how good it actually is. But this card is also what makes that Oil Rogue such a tricky deck to play, because getting this card to get the full value is really important to actually winning with that deck. And because it's 4 mana, comboing it is actually kind of tough. So this is like the reason why people are running the now I'm forgetting the name, the 2/1 charger when you have a weapon, Kai, the little pirate guy.
Oh, the pirate guy.
Southsea Deckhand?
Southsea Deckhand, yes. So because Southsea Deckhand is a 1 mana card, and it's like the perfect way to activate your Tinker Sharp Sword Oil. So you guarantee a minion being on the board, and you get the full value, and then you can immediately attack for 5 damage with the guy. So like that card suddenly became really good again too, and this guy, and also preparation and stuff like that. There's just so many ways that you have to make this card work really well. That deck is very tricky, but it's so overpowered when you actually get it off. So it's a cool card. It's an exciting card. It's a complex card. I like it. I like this card a lot.
And there's so many ways to activate it. I mean, Southsea Deckhand aside, you have backstab, you have preparation. It's just absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also the reason why you see people run Shade of Naxxramas as well, because it's, again, like, you just want to guarantee you have a creature on board, and if you can get one of those guys out there, you kind of You know, it's actually I've kind of moved away from the Violet Teacher deck, which I was running originally, which is the one, if you read my Hearthhead thing, that's the one, that's the version that's there. The problem with the Violet Teacher is sometimes you end up tinkering a 1/1 that just popped out, and that's negative, so there's kind of like anti-synergy there. But there's so many other cards you can use, like Shade, to get value out of this thing.
Yeah. Damn good card. Jocelyn,
Yeah.
thoughts?
I hate this
thoughts
card.
on the? Oh, I hate it too.
Well,
Don't.
you're just playing against it, so.
Don't get me wrong.
Exactly. I don't play Rogue, and so every single time I see this card, I'm like, God damn it!
Mhm.
Who thought of this? Who thought this was a good idea? Stop making Rogues OP.
Yeah, it wrecks you.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it really is.
Hurts
It's a
so bad. It's not even one of those hurts so good things. Like, no, this just hurts bad. I don't like it.
4-mana Pyroblast is what it can be,
Yes.
essentially.
Yes.
You're not alone, Jocelyn. This whole discussion, I've just been sitting here trying not to get personal about it because I think I've lost every rogue I've seen this week.
I think
Yeah.
that just speaks to how good of a card this actually is. The fact that it just elicits such a negative emotional response from me.
It's like shock
because
therapy.
It's a very good card.
I like cards like this being kind of overpowered, though, because it's hard to be over. Like,
Yes.
You know, like something like Dr. Boom, it's like turn 7, just drop Dr. Boom, easy, you know, done.
Yes.
Not a lot of thought process behind that. But this card being really good, it should be tricky to play in a good situation.
Hey man, I'm not sure if I should drop my Dr. Boom to the left or to the right of my existing minion.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
it's a hard decision.
Yeah, mostly I don't make decisions. I just throw it down and go, boom bots!
Yep.
And then I don't even care if I win or lose because boom bots.
Well, you don't have to care because you probably just win when you drop Dr. Boom.
Well, not anymore because everyone has Dr. Boom. Literally,
Yeah.
like every deck runs
Yeah.
it.
But now it's just like a race to see who gets Dr. Boom out first. That guy's going to win.
I think it's more of a race to see which person has BGH in their hand when Dr. Boom
Sure.
is played.
Yeah, when Dr.
Yeah.
Boom actually comes out. Yeah.
It's like,
And who has the ridiculous luck with their boom bots.
or who gets really lucky with a mind control tech, or
Yeah.
it comes down to those kind of things at the moment. But yeah, Tinker Sharp Sword Oil. Words are hard. MVP card of this discussion. Last card to talk about is the new class legendary for rogues, Trade Prince Gallywix. 6 mana, 5 attack, 8 health, and reads whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain a copy of it, and give them a coin. I don't have Mr. Gallywix yet, so Dills, I defer to you.
Yeah, this is a good card, man.
Sell me on this weird ass card.
All right. Well, essentially what this is, like, I put this in the Oil Rogue deck because what it kind of does, it's similar to like what Lotheb does, and it actually really helps you curve out really well in this deck. Because, like, let's say you can Lotheb on turn 5 and then Gallywix on turn 6, you're kind of just like in the driver's seat at that point. But the 5/8 is really what makes this card good. Its ability is pretty cool and does give your opponent a tough situation to deal with whenever you get to play this card. But really, it's just the fact that it's 6 mana 5/8. I mean, if you look at all the other 6 mana cards, you're getting cards that kind of die fairly easily. Like Sylvanas obviously is really good, but having a card with 8 health on turn 6 is just really good. So, and then of course it's not BGHable, so you throw that down. But there is some funny weirdness to this card because sometimes they will just like say, all right, whatever, I'll just give you some spells. But then they get the coins. I actually saw it was Savage playing.
Yes,
and
I just linked it in the chat room.
yeah, he played. Somebody played this against him, and then he had all spells in his hand. He was a druid, and he just played them all and kept getting coins and was able to play like all of his savage roars or something.
24
Yeah, it was
damage.
16 mana lethal, and the Trade Prince he was playing against a priest, and the Trade Prince actually popped out of Sneed's old shredder. It was the most random win of life ever.
Yeah, it was insane. I think
I remember now.
I think we tweeted it on the TAC Twitter account today. It's on our subreddit. It was the best thing I've seen Hearthstone related in recent
his
memory.
reaction was amazing, and then after he actually pulled it off and he just like gets up and walks away, it's just like, well, I'm never gonna top that, so I'm done.
No, actually, I take it back. All that is awesome and hooray for Randomness, but on Friday I turned on Kibler's stream just in time to see him not get killed by Crackle by 1 point and win a game. So for me, that's the closest life gets to seeing the dirtiest porn ever. So.
God, dude.
Yep.
Just like, yeah,
So
Crackle didn't
this card,
work.
I will say though, last note on this card, I think it's a meta choice though. I don't think you necessarily run this all the time.
No.
I think you pull this out and maybe pop in Black Knight or Harrison or something like that, depending on what's going on around you. But if you're playing really like if there's a lot of fast druids, this card can kind of like prevent them from clearing your board. If we go to like something like freeze mages or something like that, like there will be some situations where this will be really good. But don't just stick it in and say, yeah, this will always be here. It's kind of a meta pick.
All right. Good point. I also love just from a design aspect that the Gallywix coin is different from a regular coin because it doesn't trigger Gallywix. Because a regular coin, if you play it, your Gallywix will give you a copy of the coin.
Yep.
But
And
not
then
the
they'll get a
Gallywix coin, which looks exactly like a regular one, but it has a green glow. So I just thought that was fun. But that'll wrap up our Rogue discussion, and thus ends our GVG class card reviews.
Hooray!
We did it.
Huzzah!
Oh,
Oh, too soon. Too soon. Let's take a crazy game story.
Has the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
You can send your crazy game stories to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Keep them short, keep them funny, and we will put them on the show. Jocelyn, what do you have for us this week?
This one comes to us from Rich. He says, "Hello, Perturbed Poultry. I participated in my first Hearthstone tournament last weekend, which was an in-person meetup. My very first game was a shaman against a Control-y paladin who had some late-game threats coming. I had a Mech Warper, Mech Yeti, a Wrath of Air totem on board, and he had Dr. Boom, 2 Boombots, and a Silverhand Recruiter too. I drew into a Rockbiter weapon. First, I drop a Flame Tongue totem between the Mech Warper and the Mech Yeti. I drop a second Flame Tongue totem between Mech Yeti and Wrath of Air totem. Mech Warper to face for 4, Totem to face for 2, Rockbiter to Yeti to face for 11. Now he's down to 8 health when I drop Crackle. The totem adds +1 spell power, and I hit for a full 8 damage. My first tournament ever ends with 4 people huddled around my opponent's laptop yelling, 'What?' in disbelief. So very satisfying. Disclaimer. Please use Crackle at your own risk. Crackle is not responsible for the streak of 7 3-damage rolls that single-handedly led you to drop 4 ranks on ladder. Crackle is not responsible for shattered or otherwise non-functional mice. Crackle is not responsible for waking up your roommates at 4 a.m. after a face hunter survives with 1 health and BM's sorry until rope. Crackle is responsible for crazy game stories, which is what we're all after."
There you go. The crackle
Well played,
giveth
Rich.
and the crackle taketh away.
Yep. I just love that disclaimer. It made my day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well done, Rich.
Rich, I love and hate you so much right now. It's great. It's great. I had to write about Crackle in my Hearthhead article this week. I want everyone to know that. You can go to Hearthhead right now and witness Garrett having to put words into sentences that describes why you should play this card.
Yep. It's you are right though that the card is like kind of poorly designed, but it's still good. It's still
No,
just
it's
fun,
absolutely
especially in that
a
kind of
playable
deck,
card. It is absolutely a playable card. Like you
Yeah.
can't argue with it. My whole point was just like I just don't want to see a lot of these in this game. Please.
Yeah,
Please, no.
yeah.
Please. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
But when you're playing Azure Drakes, and you can also have spell power totems.
Oh, absolutely.
It's hard to turn down 2 mana 8 damage.
Pay 1 more mana for lightning bolt that might just outright kill a huge threat.
Yep.
It's the might. Just plan for it not working, and when it does, you're just like, oh, well, cool. I guess I go on my merry way of winning this game. Delightful stuff. Thanks again for your email, Rich. That is a hell of a story. We're gonna round it out with some regular emails.
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Hello?
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh,
Hello, brother.
Send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our first one this week comes to us from Travis, who writes, "There's an E where an A should be in my name." That's all he wrote. No.
I double and triple checked it.
That's all right. It's all right. Don't feel bad, Travis. Try and spell my last name. It's okay. No one can. So with the release of GVG, we've seen 3 Shredders come our way. Piloted Shredder, Piloted Sky Golem, and Sneed's Old Shredder. Now, we all know that Sneed's Old Shredder is crazy good value if you have the card, as per the recommendation of Pro Player Name here. And I've seen Piloted Shredder all over the place, but I haven't seen much Sky Golem, the 6-cost Epic Shredder. I compared it to Piloted Shredder, and as far as value goes, I don't see much difference other than it being a similar effect of higher stats for a higher curve. Maybe it's because it's epic and some people still don't have it, or maybe it's just me. My question is, am I missing anything? Is this card worse than I think it is? Or have I not seen it much for some other reason? To which I add, I'm running it in my Control Paladin right now, and it's delightful.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing it come back. I think for a while there, Mech Mage and aggro in general was so popular that the 6-cost epic was just too much. But I think now we're seeing a lot more control come back, like the Control Pally that you're running, Garrett. There's Control Warrior is making a comeback, and I think it's a little bit more viable now. But it definitely wasn't a couple of weeks ago, which actually is something that is really, really cool about, I don't know if it's just this season or since GBD has come out in general, but it seems like things are changing a lot. Like things that I was running a couple of weeks ago, not viable anymore, or not as viable. Lots of different innovation going on right now.
I mean, I even had multiple versions of my mid-range Pally that ran Sky Golem. And
you should probably only put one in. That's
right. Like I'd run one of that Anna Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Like I'd have two.
I think the issue here isn't that it's a bad card. The issue is, and people are saying in the chat room, that there's just too many good 6-cost cards right now. That what Piloted Shredder did on turn 4 was give you a card that's amazing on turn 4, where your options before were somewhat underwhelming. Unless you're running specific cards like Violet Teacher that do specific things in certain decks. It was like, oh, I guess I put like a Taz Dingo in here or something, like, or a class-specific card or something like that. And what that did was give you a really, really great 4-drop that sticks around and is sticky. This one, though, it's like competing with Sylvanas and Cairn. And like, let's say you're talking Control Warrior, you've got Shield Maidens in the 6th slot. You can't really make room for this card. So that's really what's keeping it back right now. Not anything about the card itself.
Yeah, it's not that it's not valuable or it's different in any way, really, than the value of the Piloted Shredder. It's just bad spot, bad cost.
Yeah, I mean, any card game, there's more factors to it than just the card doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's like, what is it up against and what deserves a slot out of the 30 cards that you get to pick from,
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it boils down to. But it's a really good card. I love Sky Golem.
If you get a Pit Lord out of Sky Golem, you just win the game.
Oh, that's never happened to me. Why hasn't that happened to me?
It's amazing. It's friggin' 5/6 pops out of your 6/4 and doesn't do anything. No negative effect to it at all.
Probably the same reason why I'm never the guy that gets to roll lethal on a Crackle. So whatever. Thanks, Blizzard. Jocelyn, you want to take the next email?
Sure. This next email comes to us from Dakota. It says, "Hey, Chickaboos. Wanted to write in and explain why card selection is good. The hunter card tracking is the only instance of the mechanic in Hearthstone, but hopefully my explanation will be valuable in a general sense too. In short, card selection allows you to see more of your deck than your opponent. You trade a deck slot for flexibility. When you have more options, you become better at handling more game states than you otherwise would and have a better chance at winning. But Dakota, what about the cards you must discard to tracking? They are completely irrelevant. This is a hard concept to handle at first, but stems from 2 ideas. First, the card order in your deck is a complete unknown until you draw off the top. And 2, when you make a decision in game, the correctness of that decision can only be evaluated based on the information that was available to you at the time of making it. So let's say that you cast tracking. I almost said Crackle.
Well, you are a very talented hunter if that's the case, because you just mastered the ways of the shaman.
So let's say you cast tracking, and it turns out that all 3 cards that are revealed are good. That doesn't make tracking any less correct of a play. Consider the 2 cards that you don't select as being victims of the initial random shuffle of your deck. It would be no different than if those 2 cards were the bottom 2 cards of your deck. They're just cards you didn't draw this game. In fact, the tracking scenario is probably better because you cannot draw into those cards later in the game. So when evaluating tracking, don't fall into the trap of considering the cards you discard as a downside to the spell. It's not. They are just undrawn cards, no different than any other undrawn cards in your deck. Hope I could help, and good luck on your way to Legend, Jocelyn. So thanks very much, Dakota, because we had this discussion last week, and I said how much I hate tracking. And I feel like my dislike of tracking, although your email definitely brought me around, but my dislike of tracking is more like a gut reaction to it. Same reason why I have a gut reaction to that. I hate Oil Rogue. It's not that it's a bad deck. It's just that I've had bad experiences. And I feel like I've had a lot of bad experiences with tracking where I pull 3 cards, go, God damn it, I need all 3 of these cards. And if I hadn't used tracking, I would have had all 3 of these cards. So I completely understand your email. It was an emotional gut reaction to tracking that I had last week. But this was a really, really good explanation. So thanks for sending it in.
If I could poke the bear, Jocelyn, you wouldn't have had all 3 of those cards in that scenario unless you drew your entire deck.
Yeah.
Which is unlikely if you're playing Hunter because you probably want to win by 8 or you just lost the game.
I mean, that's the other thing. Is like, I mean, tracking's it's a good card because it allows you to get a situational card more often than you would have if you just drew. And obviously, there's not ever going to be a 1 mana draw 3 cards thing. So, like, what it does allow you to do is draw. It's essentially what's the thing in Magic called scrying?
Cycling. Oh,
Well, no,
scrying.
scrying.
Yeah.
So
Scrying.
if it was like it's like essentially like scry 3, put 1 right into your hand.
Yeah,
right?
well, except scry, you don't burn the cards that you put on the bottom of your deck.
Well, yeah,
it's
but
the
it's
burning
ki-
of the
it's close
cards
to that.
is what gives me the
But
emotional reaction.
You kind of do. I mean, you put them at the bottom of your deck, they're essentially burned. Like you're not going
clearly
to draw
have-
them again.
Have you clearly haven't gone into a 40-card format against any blue decks because it happens to me all the time and I
That's
hate
a
it.
specific situation, you know.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
very
just
specific situation.
I'm just
and,
ribbing you.
And what this card does is it just allows you to get to the card that you need at that very moment more often than you would have, and it's a good card, man. I mean, I think you don't run 2 of because you just don't want to fill your deck out with too many, cards that just draw cards when you're playing Hunter. You just want cards that do damage,
Tracking into tracking.
But I definitely run 1 in that Face Hunter deck that I was playing, and it's a lot of times it gets you lethal because I need a kill command. If I get a kill command right now, I win, and it's like, oh, tracking, okay, and then inevitably kill command.
Yeah, no, it's I mean there is an asterisk to Dakota's thing, which is it's irrelevant unless you deck yourself. It's the only
barely
time
ever happens.
Yeah, which is incredibly rare with Hunters, especially in the current meta. If Control Hunter becomes a thing, it'll start happening because you're going to get into those games against other control decks that, like Control Warrior versus Control Warrior, just takes your entire day, and you're like, damn, I really had to have lunch, but I guess that's not happening. But yeah, but it is. I understand having just to react because it does feel bad. It's
Well,
just
and
like,
that's the
well, there
thing,
goes
like,
my
I-
Eagle Horn Bow. I need my Eagle Horn Bow, but it's I don't need
Yeah.
it as bad. But the thing is like, for all you know, you don't know. You don't know anything until you draw cards, and for all you know, it could have been on the bottom of your deck anyway. And you really got that Hunter's Mark that you needed to get through, damage this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. It's
Yeah, like I said, this email really brought me around, and it was just a pure emotional reaction to tracking. That's all it was. So it's
But
not
see,
that
this
tracking
is-
is a bad card. It's just that I've had bad experiences that have lost me games because I'm just like, well, now I don't have, that card or whatever. And
But the thing is, but hold on, you can't say that they lost you the game though, because again, you may not have even drawn that card in the first place, right?
no, I know
So
what I said.
It feels like I lost the game
It
because
feel-
I had
yeah,
to choose
there we-
between these
that's-
two
yeah.
cards.
You're
That's
leaving
not what
one
actually
keyword out, and yeah.
it feels like it loses me the game sometimes. Better.
But
Much.
it's generally that card is to me, it's it's never going to be anything but a positive if you do get to play it in almost any Hunter deck that exists right now, because just being able to choose is so freaking powerful. It's crazy. But I think this is actually it's good that you had that reaction, because this is kind of leads into, these are the pitfalls of certain cards where you look at a card and you evaluate it based not on actual value but perceived value, and this is a thing that a lot of players, when they come into a game, especially if they don't have a long history of card games and they're to kind of lean on that I have all this experience playing card games, you look at a card say Goldshire Footman, and you're like, oh, look at this, it's a taunt for 1 mana, this is amazing. I totally need that, I'll protect all my other stuff with it,
I am convinced you are just trying to bait out that Twitter account.
I'm pretty sure
No,
Dill
it's just
does
a
run that
terrible
Twitter
card.
account.
He fights
It's
with
just a
himself.
terrible card.
He fights
That guy actually did tweet at me and said he wants to come on the show so we can have it out, but
Only if he does a bang-up impression of the Goldshire Footman voice, and he does the whole episode in character.
Better have a
but
costume.
it's just
video.
it's a card that you look at and you go like, oh, this will protect all my stuff, but it essentially does nothing. You play it and it just does nothing. So like, and when I first started playing Hearthstone, I was like, oh, taunt. I need taunt. Taunt's so good, right? Protect all. It can't hit my face now. But then over time, you kind of like start to realize that you're paying the price for that, and it's I think it's cool that you had that reaction and everyone got to see it happen, because this is what people are like. This is a thing that happens all the time. And then you kind of get, talk about it and figure it out, and you can come around on cards.
I love the idea of someone getting in the game and being like, Goldshire Footman, oh my god! And just slapping that sucker
That's what
in their
happens.
deck.
I swear to God, it happens.
Yeah. One of my friends just got into Hearthstone this week, and I played against him, and he was like, turn 1, Goldshire. And I was just like, oh, dude, we need to have a talk.
Exactly. Every single person who starts the game, like from a no card game background at all perspective, always throws that card in first. It's like, oh yeah, well I need this. I need taunt for 1 mana. Of course.
He's always ready for action.
Yeah, he's ready for action.
Ready for action. That's my best. I'm sorry. That's all I
The
got.
thing is, he's just ready for action. He never gets any action. It's really sad,
Oh, the poor guy.
Just waiting
Goldshire
for
Footman.
some action.
Forever alone.
Ready for action!
Dill, you want to take our last email?
Shit, it's from Dave. He says, hello, friends. A little more imagination with the greeting there, Dave.
Oh, come on.
So I'm always expecting, like,
we
crazy cluckers or something.
We get so
Dave
many.
just
Something
calls
to
us
do
his
with
friends.
poultry.
We get so many creative ones. It's okay if they
That's
just
true.
want to be
Actually,
our
Dave
friend.
stands out. This might be actually the most imaginative way to do it. All right, I'm coming around. I had a,
An emotional
I had
reaction.
an emotional response to him saying hello, friends. And now I'm coming around. All right, it says, hello, friends. The recent discussion on the grind of the ladder has reminded me of how WoW PvP used to work. Back in the vanilla WoW days, I had a friend who was dead set on getting the High Warlord title. To achieve this, he had to spend day and night grinding the battlegrounds to keep his PvP rating from falling. This prevented him from doing anything else in the game, as time out of BGs meant his rating would fall. Blizzard fixed the way PvP ranking worked in WoW, so I'm hopeful that they do the same for Hearthstone by removing the time element. Personally, I've made it up to rank 12 in the past seasons, but now I only play ladder to get up to 20 for the card back, then shift my focus to arena or casual to polish off quests. By the way, he did achieve High Warlord and still sports the title to this day.
As I hope he would.
Yeah, of course, you have to.
I got private, which is pathetic, and I wear that thing everywhere because I know you can't get it anymore.
Yeah, and those went away. This is this is a really good comparison, I think, between the two. What it's doing is it's forcing you to play maybe a mode that you don't want to play, and maybe in a way you don't want to play that mode, and that's what's not fun about it. So and the hope is there. They did change PvP, and they've actually if you used to play and then haven't played in a long time and are thinking about coming back, like right now, WoW is the least grindy it has ever been. You do not have to grind if you don't feel like grinding. And I don't feel like grinding.
That being said, there's a lot of grinding if you like grinding.
Sure, if you want to grind stuff,
every day I'm just like, my garrison is my little Sim City. Go in, pick my crops, mind my mine, even though I don't need ore anymore. I don't know why I'm still doing this, but I am. Yeah. Well, I guess I am still running out of the, what is it, the Black Iron?
Oh my god, dude, you can have mine.
The Dark Iron? No, wait, yeah. Black Ore?
Black Ore or something. Black Rock Ore or something.
Black Rock Ore, that's what it is. That's one I actually do burn through that as a dual crafter. The True Iron, I'm just drowning in. I keep giving it to my friends.
Yeah. So. But yeah, there's still some grindiness there, but they've gotten rid of so much of it now. And like gearing up in PvP now and all that stuff is just so much easier. And the fact is, I think a lot of Blizzard games have worked this way, where it started off as about as grindy as it could be, and then over time they kind of let up. And I do hope that they go a different direction with ladder at some point, but it has deterred me from playing ladder, because it just feels, at this point, it just feels like, what am I really doing here? So like that's lately I've been playing just fun decks, and if I go up or down, I don't care, because I just want to have an interesting game and a fun game, and I'm having a blast playing that way.
Well, damn it, it's what we've always kind of said on the show, which is play the game the way you want to play it.
Yeah.
It's just like when folks, some folks misinterpret that. It's like, well, what's your thoughts on net decking? Folks should net deck. It's like, well, no, net decking's fine. There's no reason
that's what you want to do.
There's no reason to ignore the existence of proper research. Like if you wanted to go and, I feel like I'm going off on my own tangent now, but if you're going to go learn an instrument, like I want to learn piano. Are you just gonna go like sit down at one without looking at any point of reference and just
Start
smacking the
pounding
keys?
away.
Like, I don't think so. Like,
Yeah,
folks
like,
have figured it out.
No, I
Use
want
their
to play
information.
my way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, use the information that's there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So
No, I mean that you're absolutely correct. That's another really good comparison. Is like net decking is essentially just it's like reading a book. Like when you want to learn how to read, you read a book or whatever, right? You like learn.
I'm not sure.
Learn. You go to other people and
If
learn.
you're learning to read, I'm not sure you can read a book to learn to read.
Well, yeah.
But,
That's how you learn. You have to read. To do it.
well, that's a good point. You do, yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is essentially like if you want to learn how to play the game, you don't just crash your head into a wall like over and over again and hope that eventually you figure it out. You actually like go and find out what other people have learned for you, and then take that and then build on it yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for your emails. There's some really good ones this week. Again, if you want to send them in, it's tacpodcast@gmail.com. Try and keep them short. We love hearing from you guys, and we try to read each and every single one of them. This is part of the show where we thank our wonderful supporters over at patreon.com/TAC. Our patrons are just awesome. You guys just kick ass. That's all I have to say. And we're going to do something we usually don't do, which is try and plan crap on air, because I don't think we've actually asked, are you guys able to do the call-in episode next Tuesday at 9 like usual?
Oh, I'll have to double check.
The 24th? Okay.
We'll get back to it.
All right. Well, patrons, just keep an eye on the Patreon page. I'll post an announcement soon when we know when we're doing our extra episode this month. As always, want to thank some patrons this week. So thank you very much to Austin L., David L. I don't think you guys are related. I just use initials. Daniel D., Swift, and Christopher is how I'm going to pronounce his name, because it wasn't spelled with a PH, and I love messing with people's names today, apparently. I guess it's just my thing. So thank you guys so much for supporting the Angry Chicken. We really appreciate it. And get ready to register for the Open. Yeah,
The
Which will
taco.
be next Tuesday, the 24th.
exactly. There you go. Also, if you're leaving us iTunes reviews, we really appreciate those as well, because they help us get new listeners, and that's just awesome. So thank you to Slad19. Thank you to Felderin. Thank you to Stepped Into a Freezer. Great name.
Okay. Very specific name.
Thank you to Hammer Robbie, who gave us a 5-star review and said 10 out of 10 would cluck again. Made me chuckle, but not as much as this next guy, Dracon, who wrote Casting Crackle hits for 5 stars. RNG is great.
Nice.
Nice.
It's a shame we couldn't hit for 6 stars, but we'll take what we get. And I just had to give a shout out to Midnight Bomber in the chat room, who made another Garrett fact, which made me laugh. He said Garrett's bucket list involves tickling a trickling trifle of crackling while they yelling "Unleash the Craggle." Hashtag Taco Tuesdays. Hashtag Garrett facts.
Wow.
Oh, I still love Garrett facts and Joss facts so much, guys. You really need to keep pumping those out, because it made my entire week. Every time I turned around, there was another Garrett fact or Joss fact. It was amazing.
There
You
was
need to get Dill's facts in there too.
There was a point on, I think it was Saturday night, because it was after Katie and I ate our weight in delicious food for Valentine's, where I was just sitting on the couch, and she's just like, read me another. And we're just like going through these absurd things people are tweeting at us. It was amazing. So thank you guys. It's just dumb, and I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The Angry Chicken is a production of AMove.tv and frogpants.com. All of our past live shows and other videos can be found over at youtube.com/StarcastShow. The Angry Chicken. The Angry
Our
Chicken.
sister show, The Angry Tickin'.
Yeah, the Ticken. They're really angry ticks. They suck blood. The Angry Chicken t-shirt is over on slashloot.com. You can go pick that up. Actually, you have to spell out slash. You can't just do a backslash or a forward slash. It won't work. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. Catch us live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMoveTV or over at alphageekradio.com. And big thanks to Brian Griffith, who made our intro music. You can find his work over at briangriffithmusic.com. Dills, when you're not trying to take away the title of the angriest chicken from our wonderful community members, you villain, you. Where can folks find you?
You can find me on the Instance every Friday morning, World of Warcraft podcast. You don't have to, with, of course, Scott Johnson, Terpster, a newly followed Terpster, and Patrick Beja. And we had a really interesting discussion last week where the Europeans went crazy. So if you enjoy that,
What? Was this the
it was
Amiibo
pretty
talk?
fun.
I haven't listened yet. I heard though.
Yeah, they jumped on Scott's back because he had an idea for a toy line, and they thought it was insane that he had this idea.
Is that
really
Blizz
entertaining.
Meebo thing?
Yeah, Blizz Meebo thing. Yeah,
If they-
it was pretty entertaining, but it was so weird. And of course, TortureCast, podcast about San Francisco Giants, and streaming on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/WillieDillsSF. I'm going to be trying to do some more streaming coming up, and I'm going to be playing more games as well. So I'll be doing some Heroes, and still trying to play like some H1Z1 with some people, actually get like a real good session in. Haven't had it happen yet. But
How is that game? I know it's the
I don't
end
know,
of the
it's
show and
interesting.
it's not about zombie games, but I played DayZ when it first came out as an Arma 2 mod and loved the crap out of
Yeah.
it. And then I just kind of fell off of those survival zombie games. But
I feel like it's like what DayZ would be like if they actually followed up and continued to make that game. 'Cause essentially what happened is they just like cashed out or something. They just
Oh,
left.
yeah, that game
And the
was
game is just all terrible now.
jank as hell, but it was like
Yeah.
just the concept was so mind blowing when I tried it.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. But it's actually it like works.
Okay.
You do stuff and the stuff works.
I'm sold. I might go pick it up
yeah.
then. That's
yeah,
all
you
I
should
had to
pick
hear.
it up. It's actually cheap too. It's only like $20, where DayZ was like 50 or
Oh
whatever the
hell,
it
man!
was.
Yeah, no. All I have to say is, well, it's like DayZ, but it's actually fun to play. Like,
But it actually works. Yeah. You actually go around. And it's like you can actually fight and stuff. It's still a little. It needs some work, but it's got a lot of potential, I would say.
bring it
And,
on, man.
Yeah, and I mean, if you like zombie stuff, then hell yeah, man.
What the hell?
Let's go around
who
and
does
find
it?
stuff and make bows and shoot things, and yeah. it's
Who
good
doesn't
stuff.
like zombie stuff? Hipsters that say it's not cool anymore. That's who doesn't like zombie stuff.
Yeah. Whoever
Jocelyn,
doesn't like zombie stuff is wrong.
Aw.
we're all about respecting each other's opinions on this show, but if you don't like zombies, you can get out.
All right, see ya.
Wait, we were talking about Walking Dead before we started the show. You
I
liar.
like some zombie stuff, but not all zombie stuff.
By the way, the latest people are like so down on Walking Dead whenever it's slow. I like the slow episodes, man.
I liked this episode. It was
Yeah,
good.
me too.
I damn near gave up on that show, and this season has absolutely brought me back in. It's been a phenomenal season so far.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to see is like survival, man. Like
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
eating worms, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Norman
Yeah.
Reedus crying and women around the world and men, myself included,
everybody
swooning,
wanted to-
just
yeah.
swooning when that
Yeah.
tear leaves his eye. Just he's a bad boy and he has feelings.
I want to make him feel better.
Jocelyn, where can people find you when you're swooning along with me with Daryl Dixon?
So hot. You can find me right here on A-Move TV every Friday night at 8:30 Eastern doing the Gamers In, which is my general gaming podcast. We also run Gamers In Game Night every Thursday night. I stream that over on my Twitch channel, which is GIS Gamer. We've been playing Evolve, which is like the most fun I've had in a video game in so long. And we just did Dungeon Defenders 2, which was so fun. So saying that is a lot. Evolve is awesome. You guys both have to pick it up because, man, so good.
I know it's $60. Like that's a lot of money for only a multiplayer game.
But it's so good.
No, I'm gonna wait for it to drop in price a little bit. And then I'll
Yeah.
look something up.
You guys should keep an eye on Green Man Gaming because that's where I got it, and I got it for $40.
I heard that, and then I went over there and it was $60. So
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
just keep an eye.
It's not on
'cause
sale
they-
I'm
anymore.
they
also
have-
not a fan of day one downloadable content that you have to pay for like, right when the game comes out.
It's just
And-
skins, though. It's not actual like playable content.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I heard differently, but
yeah.
So yeah, and you can follow me on Twitter, of course, which is GIS Gamer, and whenever I stream, I tweet it out. So yeah, follow me over there.
Dope. Check it out. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to yell at me about things that you don't agree about. It's at Garrett Art. You can find me over at nomoonart.com. That's my graphic design portfolio. Check it out if you need a graphic designer. And I'm on Into the Nexus, talking all about the Heroes of the Storm, because that game, man, it just got all kinds of awesome. You need
yeah,
to
it just
micromanage.
continues to get better and better.
You need to micromanage the crap out of those Vikings, man. It's ridiculous.
I know. Who was playing Vikings with me?
D-Day.
I think it was D-Day.
Dude,
Yeah,
probably.
and
If
he
you were
was
playing with D-Day,
insane
he's
with
probably
them.
playing Vikings. We did it on Cursed Hollow, man. The curse came up. He just brought one Viking and like left the other two in lane. We never fell behind on XP.
Wow.
He was everywhere and just soaking so much XP. It was absurd. But yeah, check out Into the Nexus. With me and Kyle Ferguson. We love ourselves some Heroes of the Storm. And also check out our sponsors, dogcastsystems.com. The code to use is TAC. It'll get you double memory on your next Dogcast Systems gaming rig free of charge. Directly supports the show in the process. We thank them for their support. We thank you all for listening. We will see you guys next week for episode 68 of The Angry Chicken. And until then, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!